Missing the comic convention blues. Hi, welcome to Garage Geek. So this morning, there is a local comic book convention that I've been to once. It's about 40 minutes from my home, and I love just going through all the bins and finding bargains. But I decided not to go to this one because I way overspent on Christmas. I thought to myself, well, let's just say you go there to enjoy it and you give yourself a budget of $100, which I really can't afford right now. They're going to charge you $9 to get in, and that's already 10% of your budget. Just go to the next one. You're going to miss out this time, but you can focus on what you already have. And so in that spirit, I decided to make a video, impromptu, just about my love for comics and what I already have. And if I can't go to this comic book convention, well, I can go to the next one. So I just randomly grabbed a bunch of comics that I had been looking at recently, and these are my Luke Cage. Now, Luke Cage has some beautiful comic book covers. I'm just going to show a couple that I think are really great. For example, this one. I love this comic cover. This is comic number 2. I don't have issue number 1. This is one of my favorites because I actually had this when I was young. I didn't have some of those other ones. I started collecting later, and so this is a 25-cent one. So I started collecting around 20, maybe around 30 cents is when I started collecting. But when I was young, there were a couple comic book stores, and I was able to go and get back issues. Right? So I had this as a kid. This is a great cover. Now, I definitely had this one as a kid, too. I love that cover. This one I believe I bought this one on the shelves. And this isn't the same one I bought, but I got this one. And this is going to lead to my next topic. You can see this one is way beat up. Like, the color is gone up here, and there's a lot of spine ticks. So I'm gonna leave this one aside and talk about that in a second. This is another cover I love. This one. Okay, so that's the last cover I'm going to show. So that's going to lead me to my next topic that I want to discuss in this video. I don't need to have comics in pristine condition because they're very expensive. I mean, I don't want something with water damage and that kind of thing. But when you put them in this Mylar, it takes imperfections and it really kind of makes them so you can't see them as much. It really enhances the cover of a comic. And that's really why I have these. It's just because of the covers. I like to display them. They're not for reading. And I'm going to show you why in a second. But if you really look at this cover, it's got a lot of spine imperfections, but it doesn't matter to me. Most collectors, they're not like that. So when I go to a comic convention, I'm looking for something that is a little imperfect that I can get a deal on, because most people are looking for the very high grade issues, and for me that's not important. This is more for nostalgia. And once you put them in these Mylar, you really do get a nice product. I have this. This covers the first 23 issues. This is in pristine shape. It reprints the comic in all the color and the covers, and everything looks beautiful. So these are just for nostalgia, and I can also put them on the wall. I have an interchangeable series of 4, 8, 12, like 24. Wait, 4, 8, 12. Yeah, I could display 24 comics at a time, and I can change them. So that's what this is for. So what I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to show you, I bought a bunch of these low-grade comics at a comic convention recently. As you can see, they're all torn up. They're yellow. That's okay. I'm going to go through them really quickly. Let me put this down so I have somewhere to put them. So you could see Nazi Inferno, Judge Colt. Most of these are going to be gold key because I love the painted. These gold key, as I've mentioned before, they're a comic company that I ignored as a kid, but I really appreciate now for the covers. The covers are painted and they're gorgeous. Fighting Marines. I don't know why I picked that up. His Mother's Son. I probably got a really good deal on it. Huey, Dewey, and Louie. I'm grabbing a lot of the comic ones for my husband. He loves these. There's another one, Mickey Mouse and Goofy. See, here's another painted cover. Dagar the Invincible, Dagar, I'm not sure. It's thick. Here's another Mickey Mouse. This one has a little stamp on it. The Roadrunner, that's an awesome cover, but this has a lot of imperfections. Smokey the Bear, this one has like, probably there was a mailer. Someone got this one in the mail, and they always affixed the address here, and when you peel them off, that happens. And then finally, I got a Pink Panther. So what I'm going to do now is I got one more. So it's Boris Karloff, Tales of Mystery. Sorry, I already put this in Mylar. So here it is, Boris Karloff, Tales of Mystery. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put these comics in Mylar so you could see the difference. You can take something that is really banged up like this. And I got these probably for $1 each, maybe less. And you can take something like this, because if you were to buy this in pristine shape, it would probably be a lot of money, right? But there's a lot of copies out there that are banged up, but they're still serviceable. I'm going to put them in the Mylar, and I'm going to show you what they look like. So hold on. And I'm back. Now, this is Angel, who's been in my videos before, but when I make videos, he often stands at the side and he just waits for me to pick him up. And I just thought I would, since I stopped in the middle, I thought I would just put him in the video now so that he could be acknowledged. So Angel, I'm going to put you down at the side. All right. Are you going to be okay? And I'm back. So like I promised, I took most of the comics that I showed you and I put them in Mylar. There were a couple that I didn't. Why? Because they're more modern and I need a different size backboard. And I think I ran out of them. So these 3 comics I didn't put in the Mylar, but I will. So I want to go ahead and show you, and I'd like to know what you think about this whole process. Because number one, the Mylar and the backing board probably cost at least $1 to add. And so I'm basically investing $1 or $1.50 in each one of these that I put in Mylar. That's not cheap. But when you think of what it does, it really smooths out the imperfections. And some of these, you can't get over some of the imperfections. But I think for the price and to own something that is, 40 or 50 years old, for such a cheap price, I'm willing to do it. Now, some of these Walt Disney ones are really beat up, and even the Mylar doesn't really help with a lot of the imperfections, but I still like having them. And of course, if I ever come across a better copy, then I will supplant it. So here they are. So let's stop and look at this one. I really think that if you focus on the cover art right here, the Mylar really does enhance this. Here we go with the Fighting Marines. I honestly don't know why I bought this one. I must have gotten a really good deal on it. So here is another painted cover. Now, I need to open this up again and flip up that little piece that's down. But I really think that this cover is enhanced. And then here's another one that I think looks gorgeous in this Mylar. So what do you think? What do you think about the whole process of, one, buying comics that are imperfect when so many other people, they always want the best copy available. So I go the other route, right? I go for the cheapest copy available that is still in okay condition, not horrible condition. And then what do you think about the Mylar? How many of you out there use Mylar for your comics? For me, when I made the switch from the regular, I think, what are they called? Polypropylene bags to Mylar, I couldn't go back. And even though they're much more expensive, my collection just looks so much better in the Mylar. So I'd love to hear your comments. This was my I'm missing the comic convention blues video. Again, I want to thank you for your support.